Now let's go toss some plastic. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. Today we find ourselves in Stockbridge, Georgia, taking on another top 5 course in the state. This one coming in at number 4. We are at J.P. Moseley, and we're starting off with a long one, 636 feet. All we're worried about right now is just getting some distance off the tee pad. And I'm gonna go with a weird disc. This is a PFN Champion Boss. I found this, I don't know, a quarter mile from the disc golf course. I was at Dundee, I went hiking down the river, no lie, probably a quarter mile from the course, completely buried, and I spent about 20 minutes trying to clean it up. So I am pretty excited to see how it throws. Let's get started. Oh yeah, still got a lot of fight left in it. Oh, there's so much frost on the ground. We got a huge skip. We are gonna be in a terrible spot. Let's get going. As expected, we are very pinched off here. The basket is still quite a ways up there and to the left. Now, normally I'm pretty attentive to the big skips on the frost, but I think I was just too excited to throw the Dirt Boss. I'm gonna go with my Scepter. Just get up there, give me a big skip. Oh yeah, I'm not sure if we are pin high yet, probably not, but we should have a putt at it. Probably around 55 to 60 feet. Oh, little deep. Not a bad first putt of the day though. Just like that, we are in the woods. We have hole 2, 225 feet. Now this is kind of a finicky line. You need to get a little flip up, head dead straight, but you need that left finish. I'm gonna go with my Rhino. Oh, that feels perfect. All right, really good throw. It does feel good to kind of be back in a technical type course. It feels like it's been a while. I'm gonna be honest, these leaves have me super worried. The Rhino's right here and it was just completely buried. Took me a handful of minutes just to try to find this thing. Hole 3, and we have a classic meat hook situation here. 294 feet, way off to the left. I am gonna go with my Scepter. We're gonna need a skip to help us make it all the way to the pin. Get up there, skip. Oh yeah, it would probably be a long putt. That'd be very tough for the Scepter to make it there. Let's go find out. That skip got us a lot closer than I would have ever expected. Skips can be a very powerful tool if you kind of have the right disc and learn how to use them. If you're throwing a disc that's too stable for you, a lot of times you just get skips and they don't help you out. But when you can actually start to plan for them, it's a great little tool to have in your back pocket. Hole 4, and we have another meat hook, but this time it's off to the right. 210 feet, and I do feel like it does suit up better for the turnover. Now today through these woods holes, we're gonna try to be throwing this Paradox a lot because it's just kind of been lingering in the bag and it hasn't quite felt like it's made a spot for itself yet. So that's what we're gonna go with. It should be a great shot shape for it. Oh yeah, that looks beautiful. All right, we caught a tree, but I mean, it flies good. It's just weird because it sits right in between my Envy and my Piwaka Waka, and I just don't know if that's a slot I necessarily need filled. Left ourselves another super long straddle putt, a little over 60 feet for the 2. Oh, deep again. We're just slightly deep. Hopefully we can get that adjustment. For the par, hole 5, 230 feet. Now I think 100% that basket is farther than 230 feet away. I'd guess more around 250, but as you can see, it is dead straight. Quite a few guardian trees sitting up there protecting the basket. I'm gonna go with my Envy. Get up there. All right, I think we got pin high. Drifted a little bit too much to the right, but we should have a look at it. I always appreciate a good Envy toss. Hole 6, and we have another tight technical Annie shot, 245 feet. This will be another great test for our Paradox. As expected, the Paradox did come through for us, leaving us a putt slightly longer than average, 213 feet, a slight ante the entire way. I'm gonna go with my Rhino. All right, thank goodness the Rhino came through for us. I'm really happy with that par save. Hole 7, 615 feet. As you can see, we do have an opening at the bottom of the hill and the basket's tucked off to the right. So a left finish off the drive, it would be ideal. I'm gonna go with my Champion Boss. Oh, it's not gonna come back, is it? Oh goodness, that is so far down there, but it is so far to the right. I should have went with my Firestorm. Hopefully there's some kind of backdoor action going on. As you can see, we have absolutely nothing, which is highly frustrating. It is just poor disc selection, and we're gonna have to chip back out to the fairway. There's nothing here. If I was a little farther back, maybe, you know, a tomahawk thumber up and over everything, but unfortunate. Pretty routine up and down from here. 188 feet, we are looking right at it. All right, that's what we needed. For the 4, hole 8, 650 feet. You should be able to see the basket sticking out down there. Now, we are gonna give the old Dirt Boss another throw. It is important that we kind of hold an ante past this wall of trees, and then wherever you hyzer out from there should be just fine. That feels like a good toss. Oh yeah. I'm not sure how far distance-wise that went, but I was happy with the shot shape. One thing I will say about the Dirt Boss, it still has a lot more bite than I expected. I thought it was gonna be nice and beat in after sitting in the river for who knows how long, but my green one is still seasoned better. We have 260 feet. I'm gonna go with the Envy. That's low. Slide up there. Not ideal. We needed a little more height to give it more time for the stability to kick in. Because we missed through that a little bit, the Envy is right at the tester range, probably around 33 feet for the 2. Oh, just a little short. The putts lately, man, they are just close to, at least the accuracy's on, but they're not falling. Hole 9, and this is a long one, 710 feet. As you can see, we have that Mando sign way down there. That Mando sign is over 450 feet away. I am gonna try to land off quite a bit to the right so we can attack the pin on shot number 2. I'm gonna go with the Firestorm. The Bosses have been flying, not great for me today. All right, that should be right where we want it. Oof, that might even be pinched off. This is gonna be a tricky second shot. I guess I don't really understand the point of this Mando, because there is this huge inside lane that we could attack to get to the pin, but that Mando makes it so cut off. For most people, unless you have 500 feet of distance, you have to land so far to the right just to be able to see up the alley. Not the biggest fan of this whole design, but essentially we just got to pitch up to get around it. I just don't feel like there's a need for it to take away this whole inside lane. It'd still be a challenging shot. We're still about 250 feet away, and as you can see, we are throwing blind. I think essentially the basket is in line with me and that, you know, little 2-pronged tree up there. So I'm gonna try to hug the right side of that, hopefully get a nice little left finish. I'm gonna go with my Envy. Very uncomfortable lie. I guess I should have paid attention to my pitch up a little bit more. We have a chance to save hour 4, but unfortunately the NV came up about 35 feet short. Hole 9 break, and today I just want to throw one question at you guys, and I would love to see some interesting answers in the comment section. But what is the most unorthodox thing you've ever found yourself doing at a disc golf course? Because I just recently had an experience that took over that spot for me, and the only little hint I'll tell you guys is it had to do with a porta-john. Okay, I just find this entirely too funny. Okay, so this is the porta-john, right? This is the porta-john door, and it says win your own honey bucket and take a selfie or video with the honey bucket. Like, what? If you want to win your own, or $1,000. But if you want to win your own honey bucket, I mean, we got to give it a try, right? Are you kidding me? I said just pose for a picture. Don't actually throw your disc in the porta-john. Oh, I very much misread that situation. A quick little backstory. As I was setting up that camera, I had the door propped open with my car. I just got the camera facing towards the porta-john. A family walked up out of nowhere, and I didn't know how that was gonna play out. You know what I mean? If it was gonna be a chuckle, if I was gonna go to jail, there was a lot of ways that could have played out. Probably one of the most embarrassing moments I've ever had. But I do want to take a second and say thank you to all of my members. As we have gotten a few new ones, I will throw their names up here. I greatly appreciate it. It's one of the best ways to support me to be able to continue to do this, making these disc golf videos for you guys. So if you want to check out the memberships, that would be greatly appreciated. Also, if any of you want to send Honey Bucket an email, listen, if I win the $1,000 or the porta-john, I will do some pretty awesome disc giveaways. Hole 10, 355 feet. As you can see, we have this double mando plus the elevated basket up there in a pretty cool pin location, being that it's in a rock. You always have to appreciate that. Because we need some real strong stability, I'm going to go with a soft Firestorm. Don't skip too much. Probably did. It probably did skip too much. As you can see, distance-wise, the Firestorm worked out great, but we just didn't hang straight quite as long as we needed to, leaving us a very tricky, very elevated putt, probably around 45 feet for the 2. Oh, nice putt. I feel like it's been quite a while since I've just had a nice putt. Hole 11, it looks like we have a bit of an island hole, 252 feet going slightly uphill the entire way and an elevated basket. And we also have a lot of tee pad action going on. There's 3 in front of me, 1 behind me that had no room for the camera. So I'm not entirely sure what all that's about, but I'm gonna go with my Kotuku. Nice and simple. Almost got a little pull tapper there. For the 2, you guys all right down there? I'm not entirely sure how that happened. There's no wind. There's no wind. Hole 12, 335 feet, and I am starting to feel the swirling wind a little, maybe why our camera took a dive, but we have 334 feet. We are going uphill. We need kind of that late right turn. I am going to go with my Valkyrie. Man, that got pushed down quick. The wind has picked up a lot just in the last like 60 seconds. Not a great shot. Well, after a very anticlimactic tee shot there, we have left ourselves a very long straddle putt. This one's probably around 85, 90 feet for the 2. Not the most exciting putt. I'm sure some of you may have noticed, but with this go around in Georgia, we are attacking their top 5 courses. Now, we already have 3 filmed. We have Little Mulberry, the Lula OG course, we have Hobbs Farm. Now, right now we are at JP Moseley, and we will be getting to Parker's Pasture. So for any Georgia natives, let me know which order do you think those top 5 are, and if there's any that you think should be in there instead. And I will already tell you, for my personal, Dundee was an absolute blast, and that is gonna push something out of that top 5. Let me know. Hole 13, 678 feet, just straight that way. Some of these long holes kind of have that feeling like they're long just to be long. And believe it or not, this is the short tee pad. The first one that you'll see is like 1,050 feet, just kind of maintaining the same, you know, fairway path. I'm gonna try the Dirt Boss. Oh, it's so windy right now. That thing just got lifted up a mile. Yeah, not a ton of distance, more of a sail. It always throws me off a bit when I misread the wind that bad. We had that straight headwind, so I added a little more hyzer, and it did flip up, but my nose angle must have been way off because we just took an elevator and lost all of our distance. We still have 340 feet. We're looking right at it, have that same headwind. I'm gonna go with my Leopard. Please fight it. It's getting up there. All right, that shot was a lot better and we did adjust. Leopard did come up quite a bit short, but I am more than happy with that approach shot. Probably around 35 feet, slightly downhill for the 2. Oh, we went deep again. A lot of deep lately. That would have been a great 3 if we could have knocked that putt down. Looks like we've made it back into the woods. Hole 14, 300 feet. As you can see, we kind of have a low ceiling to contend with, and we also have to hang straight for quite a while and get a left finish. I think a big skip would be our friend. I'm gonna go with the Kotuku. Let that Kotuku go very low. That is a mouthful. I want all of you to try to say that. It was that perfect height, that perfect flatness, that it was gonna hit the ground and just slide under everything. But luckily, we were paying attention and we did find it. We have left ourselves a long putt, probably around 65 feet for the 2. Come on. Oh. You know, every putt today, every putt has just wrapped right behind the basket. Just, not adjusting very well. Hole 15, and this one is very similar to the last one. We have 280 feet. You need to hang straight for a while and then get that left finish. But we are gaining some elevation, which is gonna bring that ceiling into play much faster. I'm gonna go with my Hex. Slide up there. Oh my goodness. I think that would have slid right under the basket, but instead we get the tree thunk of shame. We have a tricky, probably 35-foot Annie putt for the 2. Oh, man, am I getting used to hearing that sound. So quickly, I just want to bring something up that I don't talk about hardly ever on the channel, but if I seem a bit off today, every once in a great while, a course is pretty decent, but it's just horrible to film. And that's what's going on today. So if I seem a little off, that's why. It's just a bit chaotic here. There's a lot of pedestrians kind of walking all over the place. I've had people walking, you know, up the hole, right where I'm throwing, walking against the fairway. There's just alts everywhere. There's different people. I'm not entirely sure where I'm going. It just makes it very difficult. So I do like to bring that to the forefront sometimes, so you guys always just kind of keep that in the back of your head. It's nothing's going on with me. It's just a little frustration, and it can make filming quite difficult. Hole 16, and we have a little bit of an ace run here. It's only 190 feet. As you can see, we are looking right at it, but we have this tree kind of blocking the fairway a bit. We want a slight Annie. All right, that worked out pretty well. Should be a short putt, a much needed short putt. The Rhino did go quite a bit farther than I expected. Oh, I thought that was bouncing out. Hole 17, we have 270 feet. And guys, I have no idea what's going on here. So filming this round today, I have caught up to 2 people. I've been waiting on 2 people, which has never happened in the history of the channel. The first guy said he just jumped in at hole 10. I'm on hole 17. I don't know if it's because of the alts, but people are just kind of merging. I just watched this dude take like 7 putts at the basket while I'm sitting here waiting. I have no idea what's going on, but this is a gorgeous hole. We do kind of that low ceiling, slight downhill shot the entire way. It is a bit of an ace run, slightly longer than your average. I'm gonna go with the Envy. Oh, that's not great. I'm just not focused at all right now. You know, it slid up there all right. We're gonna have a pretty long putt. Hopefully we can knock it down. Now I will say the gentleman did stop throwing his putts once he noticed me. It just took him a while for him to notice me. And like I said, I don't know why or how they got to hole 17's basket. Oh. Just, I don't know, guys. Rounding off our day here at JP Moseley, we are just gonna move up to the shorts because I don't think I'm gonna fare well on the longs, but we have 261 feet, and this is actually a pretty cool hole. We have this line of trees going the entire way, so there will be no hyzer shot going on. I'm gonna go with my hex and hopefully rebound and end on a good note. Oh, I got lifted. Felt like a really good shot. I thought it would hold that turn. Again, must be my nose angle. Hopefully we can knock down this long putt. We have left ourselves quite the long and terrifying putt to end on. If I do sail past the basket, it goes downhill, and it goes downhill in a hurry. I would guess we're about 30 feet for the 2. You know, it would only make sense. I don't know what it is. I don't know why every single putt has been deep today. Every single one. And we did exactly what I said that we needed to try to avoid. Thank you. Thank you. At least we hit the comeback putt. And that wraps up today's video at JP Moseley, the 4th ranked course in Georgia. And right off the rip, there's 36 holes. So you will find a layout that kind of is your sweet spot. Today I played just the original 18. And as you can see, we had a good mixture of open and wooded holes. Now I will say, for the most part, the open holes weren't very exciting. They were a tad bit boring, but I really enjoyed the woods holes. We had some great scenery, just kind of that iconic woods golf. Not super long holes, but you really have to hit your lines if you want to lay down a good score. But as you saw, there are still plenty of chances to really air the arm out, really test out those new distance drivers, see how much you can bite off the tee pad. The baskets were great. Now the tee signs, this place is a little confusing to navigate without question. You're gonna want Udisc because some of the alts just kind of pop in through the 18 and you just gotta kind of bypass them. And the tee signs, they're pretty good. They're a little hard to understand because there's no indicator of which pin location the basket's in. Sometimes you have baskets in both pin locations. Sometimes it's just one. Some holes have 2 tee pads. Some holes have 3 tee pads. So it can be a little confusing to try to really figure out the distance to the basket you're aiming at from the tee pad you're standing on. But again, Udisc will probably solve a lot of that. Now with the original 18, there's no real iconic beauty here. You have the natural beauty, just that deep woods beauty, which I always appreciate. And at one point on one of the holes, I was playing alongside of a pretty big and active river. So I don't know, maybe the alts incorporate that river a little bit. That would absolutely bump it up quite a bit in that department. With all of that being said, I'm still gonna give this course the very solid score of 8 out of 10. I think having a full 36 really helps the overall score because I have no doubt that you can come out here, like I said, and find that perfect layout. And the baskets are good. The tee pads are good enough. There's plenty of disc golf. You can spend the whole day here. It's at a nice, gorgeous park, really everything you need. There's nothing that's, drastically taking away from this course. Overall, I just feel like it is very rock solid. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Now it's your turn to go toss some plastic.